Hello and welcome to my third episode on building a computer, and today we're going to be talking about choosing your motherboard. And the first thing that you're going to have to look at is the processor that we picked out, or that you picked out. Depending on whether or not you're going to go with a different one than we picked out in this video, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. Generally, picking out is all going to be the same. And we're going to start by going here, and we're going to go to all stores. You're going to go computer hardware, then you're going to go motherboards, and then it's going to come to, and I have both other processors that we looked up yesterday, and then we're just going to go, so we're going to start by choosing a motherboard for the AMD processor, so we're going to go AMD motherboards. We're going to check what socket it is. It is an AM3 Plus socket. That's just the pins on the bottom, what they fit into. The pin layout, and so we're going to choose AM3 Plus. It's a FX series processor, so we're going to choose a motherboard that is compatible with the FX series, and there we go, FX. North Bridge is going to be AMD. Generally, you're going to want to go to the bottom in form factor. You're going to want it to be ATX. You're not going to want to go with anything smaller. And then this is just going to come down here. You want to set it to most ratings, because this is going to give you feedback on what motherboards are good. What have people been getting good reliability out of, and good performance out of. And my motherboard is right here, the 970 gigabyte. I like this motherboard a lot. It has dropped in price a little bit from when I got it. I did get mine around a year ago. It was about $150. Now it has dropped in price, and that's just going to happen with technology over time. You can go with this Asus though. It's generally identically the same with the chipset. Where is it? There it is. 970. I like both these companies. I also like, you go to manufacturers. I like MSI. They also do a great job. I wouldn't go with any of these other companies. ASRock, BioStar, JetWay. I wouldn't go with any of those companies, just because I don't have any experience with them. They're kind of new. Asus, Gigabyte, and MSI have been doing this for a while. They know what they're doing, yeah, I just like them. So personally, since AMD is generally the budget PC, spending a lot less money when you're building it, I'm going to go choose this motherboard. It's got good rating. It's got that 6 gigabit SATA, and we can look at it more in depth. It is going to support our FX processor with the AM3 Plus as a 970 North Bridge, which is perfectly fine. It's going to support fast RAM. That's not overclocked, and this is going to be good. So we're going to be able to buy stock RAM that is faster, without having to do any extra work. You do have to remember that with AMD processors, they only support dual channel memory. This means that generally that it's only 2 sticks that you can support. You can't go any more than 2 sticks. And that's just the thing that AMD does. Intel does support more than dual channel memory. You can get triple channel, you can get more than that. Really anything you want. PCI slots, this is going to be what your graphics card goes into. You can get PCI 3.0 if if you want to spend more money, and it should be here somewhere. PCI slots. Where is it? I can't seem to find it right now. But you can get PCI 3.0. I don't know if these motherboards have it or not. I can't tell. This is a very expensive motherboard. Yeah, generally I think they're all 2.0. But it doesn't really matter. 3.0 is going to be better. It is like the newer version, but you don't really need it. Generally, you're only going to need it if you're going with that really like high-level graphics card. So also coming back to this, your memory is going to be faster, only dual channel. It's going to be able to support the latest SATA, 6 gigabits, which is what you want. It's going to be faster. You're going to have 6 hard drives. I don't know who would ever need 6 hard drives. I wouldn't recommend putting, 6 like 100 GB hard drives in, I would go 1 TB hard drive. That's just my personal preference. So I like that. 8-channel audio. You can add in a sound card if you want, but it's really not necessary. Yeah. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, I like motherboard sound. It doesn't really, it's not terrible. It's generally you're gonna want a sound card if you're doing like some sort of surround sound setup, where you're gonna want that audio really high quality. But generally, if you're gaming, you're gonna be going through a headset, and that's just gonna be better. So you don't need to spend that extra money, and especially because this is the AMD budget computer, it's gonna help bring down that cost. LAN 100 megabits. It's gonna be plenty fast for any internet that you can possibly buy. USB is going to have 3.0 and 2.0, so supporting new devices and old devices. You can add in USB ports. This is going to come down when your case with those external USB ports, hooking those up to the motherboard. This is your form factor. It's just the standard form. This has to do with the size of it, 12 inches by 9.6 inches. That's generally the standard. You can get like a longer version, it's called ATX extended, or smaller versions called micro ATXs. It just depends. Generally, I like to go with ATX. They're the standard. They're going to be able to run everything you need to run without sacrificing size for power. Generally, you're going to want an extended ATX if you're going to want to have 4 graphics cards, which I don't know why you would need that. Really, if you're gaming or if you're doing general day purposes, you're not going to need 4 graphics card. It's kind of ridiculous. See, this supports quad GPU. Yeah, you don't really need that at any point in time. You don't need 4. There's the BIOS. This is just with clocking speeds. And I like this motherboard a lot. And now we're gonna switch over to the choosing for the Intel motherboard. So we're gonna go back. I'm gonna add this one into a new tab so I can save it. Where is it? Here it is. New tab. I am using Chrome. If that's what you're wondering. We're gonna go back all the way back to the beginning. It's a little too far. Intel motherboards. So again, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna look at what socket it supports. LGA 1155. So we're gonna go to socket type LGA 1155. And also CPU type is not really gonna help you that much, just because there are multiple i7s, i5s, but this is the LGA 115 i5. You really have to go with the exact one, which you have to go back and look for. Here it is, LGA 115 i5. So where is it? Right here. So you could put in CPU type LGA 1115. Northbridge, doesn't really matter. The newest one is, I think, the C77. And then really, there's nothing else. Form factor, of course, ATX is generally what I'm gonna like, and what you guys should like. And again, we're gonna be starting off with that most reviewed. And with my companies for this one, ASUS again is on there. I do like EVGA. They're a very good company, actually, to the point where I would single down just to look at one motherboard. It is $160, but I really like their products. I can't say enough good things about them. It supports very high memory. This is going to be a very good motherboard. It is a little bit farther back, so that's kind of what's holding me back on this motherboard, but it has everything that you could possibly want. Yeah, I honestly, if you want to spend less money, I wouldn't have a problem going with that one. But since this is Intel, this is not really our budget computer, so we're gonna go with the Z77, which I think is the newest one. It's not the H77, and we're gonna get search. And that's gonna bring us up with these Z77, Z77. Really, you can go with any of these. I wouldn't go with these companies. I wouldn't go with BioStar. I would stick to Asus, MSI, Gigabyte. They generally do a very good job. You see these top ones coming up. I like this one. I don't have a problem with this one. By Gigabyte, it's got good reviews. This one also does, but this is a little bit on the pricier side. Just scrolling through it, I like to stay around 150 bucks when I go for it, but I don't want to sacrifice quality. Actually, I think I'm just going to go with the top one. This is going to have everything that we're going to need. It's going to support that i5 LGA 115, Intel Z77. It's going to support that faster RAM, but see the overclock. So if you're going to want to go with that really fast RAM, that 2400, you're going to have to overclock to get there. You can't just put it in standard. Supports dual channel memory, just like the AMD. Does have SATA 3 gigabit, so if you do have older hard drives, you can throw those in, but also it supports the new hard drives. It has audio on board. I wouldn't recommend replacing that. It has HDMI out. Yeah, I really like this one. ATX form factor, pretty much everything that we went over. 3rd generation Intel processors. That's the newest one, the Ivy Bridge. So it's going to support those newest motherboards. Overclocking features, which you're not going to need because you're generally going to be first-time computer builders who are going to be watching this video. And I think that's about it for the motherboards. So we'll save these, and these are really what we're going to build off. We built off the CPUs to get to the motherboards, and now we're going to build off the motherboard to get our other parts. And go to the next episode to talk, see more about building your computer.